All right. So, first of all, thanks everyone once again to joining this live webinar on the Jira tool. My name is Jitendra Kumar. I'm your host today for this webinar. I have altogether 13 plus year of experience in IT industry. I started way back my career as BA. Then after I have worked in various roles altogether. And right now, altogether, if I talk about, I have experience as BA, worked as product manager. Before that, I have worked as a Scrum Master, project manager, various role I have worked. And from last 7 years, I'm in active training space where I help people to transform their career to start their career as Scrum Master. For this, I do provide training on Scrum framework, also on the Jira. These two are my expertise, and also I help BA as well, but mostly I focus on Scrum framework and the Jira tool. Now, why Jira tool? Because definitely if you're working in IT industry, most of the companies work on this tool. Okay. And for certification perspective, I have done various certification starting from CSM, ACSM, CSP, which is Certified Scrum Professional, CalT, and CSPO. Also on the product perspective, I have various certification. Now, if I go further, dig down on myself, right now when I'm talking to each one of you here, I'm in city of Bangalore, Silicon City of India. I am born in a city called Gachipur, which is near to Varanasi, UP. I did my basic schooling and all till 12th from Patna, Bihar, did my engineering from Bhopal, and from last, I would say around 8 years going to be, I'm here in Bangalore. And also, as I said, from last 7 years, I'm very much active in the training space where I do take online, offline, corporate workshop training on Scrum and Jira tool. Right. So let's start first with what exactly this Jira tool is, why it's needed, and if you're going for this training, how it can be helpful for you. So Jira tool, if we talk about in IT industry, mostly used, it is for what? Issue tracking. So for example, if any work we are doing, right? So for that work, if I have to perform certain activity, so there would be some workflow. It's like you have to start the work, you have to make it in progress, who is working on that, and further it will be completed, tested and all. There's a workflow for that, and Jira we use for any kind of issue, requirement, bugs and all, and we use it for tracking perspective. So that is what we do here in this Jira tool. And I would say most of the company rather, they are using the Jira tool. If you are someone who is working, let's say as a Scrum Master, project manager, or any lead perspective, and also mostly the QAs, there is a lot of use of this tool. There's just a great job profile as well, like Jira admin, where it's required to have expertise on the Jira tool, right? So this is what I would say the career perspective and what is utilization of this Jira tool. And yes, if you are someone who want to start your career in IT industry, maybe as a Scrum Master, as a project manager, or the PMP, PMO professional, I would say Jira is a tool where you would be spending maximum of your time, right? So now let's talk about, go further deep down on the Jira part, what exactly Jira tool is. So Jira tool, if I talk about, Jira is tool is from a company called Atlassian. It's an Australian-based company, and this company has this product called Jira. Apart from Jira as well, this company has various other products. Now, when you talk about the Jira, well, like I remember around 10 or 11 years back, I first heard this word Jira, right? So we use in a different term, right? It's a kind of spice for us. I was quite surprised why this Jira word is getting used as a tool. So if you talk about the origin of this, it's quite interesting. So earlier there was a very famous tool which was Bugzilla. Just to resemble with that, there is a Japanese word Godzilla, Gojira, and with that they came up with the name called what? Jira. And this way, this nomenclature has happened and it is used in the industry. Now, when I talk about the Jira tool, what are the uses? So on the user's perspective, it is used for project management. It is used for issue tracking. Also, it is used for tracking, monitoring, and workflow management. There are various aspects of Jira what you can use, but if you talk about the project management perspective, comparatively, there are limited less feature, and there are much more features, much more uses of Jira is on issue tracking. And this webinar, what we are having right now, it's a complete, like just for next 5 minutes, I would say, or next 2-3 minutes, I'm going to use slide. And then after I will jump on the actual tool where I will demonstrate what all features are there. That is what I'm going to do next. And if we use it for planning, tracking, and support perspective, and as I said earlier, what we can do aspects, project, you can create project, you can manage the project also on this, you can create issues, you can create workflow, you can perform search. It happens that in a project, there are millions of tickets. There are, like, 20, 30,000, 1 lakh, 5 lakh, 10 lakh. In fact, more than that also, tickets are there. Issues are there in a certain projects and all Jira board. And then if you have so much of used data, definitely you need the something that you can first, what you can do, you can search the optimum data for that perspective. And that's why we use the search. So Jira has a multiple aspect of the search. It's like you can do basic search, advanced search. There is something called JQL as well. That also functionalities are there. And also, as you have so much of data, definitely you want to create certain reports. So on that perspective, in Jira, what we have the dashboard where we have various gadgets available. With help of that, you can create reports. That's what we do in the dashboard perspective, right? So again, why it is used? There are certain region. The first one is what? It's a very much customizable tool. Whatever you want, you can do the customization of it, right? So there are two aspects, Jira user and Jira admin. You can do the customization. Then it's a platform independent tool. You just need a web browser, any browser, and you can use it. It support multilingual. It's like English, French, Japanese, Korean, Mandarin, so many languages there, which it supports. Then it's like MySQL, Oracle, SQL servers on the backend. It can be run locally on the company data center or on the cloud. But this data center part is going to be slowly, like, in fact, it's already been down from the Jira side. And altogether, what users will be there, it will be of the Jira cloud. And also in the training, we are going to use the Jira cloud itself. And then it can be integrated with so many various tools like Git, Bitbucket, Slack, and also there whatever third-party application you see for the project management, tracking, reporting perspective, there are plugins available. It can be integrated with that. And that's why it's so popular and it is used here. Okay, so Vijay has mentioned a good amount of questions. Anyway, we'll discuss that, Vijay, later. Thanks for questions here. Okay, so let's proceed further. Okay, and let's jump on the tool, how we're gonna use it. Okay, so let me share my browser and we'll proceed from there. One moment, let me pull my slides. Okay, let's proceed further. Please confirm if you are able to see my browser. Yes, no?
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. Thanks for confirmation. Okay, So now next on, we are going to have a hands-on, like I will be showing you practically what all functionalities are there in the Jira and what all are uses of that. Okay, for that, let me open the Jira tool. Okay, Manoj has raised hand. Manoj, I will be taking all the questions at end of this training. Just let me go with the flow, complete all that, and then definitely will take all the questions. And I just said, whatever question you do have, rest assured, before we complete this training, all your questions will be answered here. Okay, so let's proceed. Okay, so let's proceed on this part. Okay, so what happens? I just said what all aspects are there in the Jira tool. So first of all, in this training, what we're gonna do, let me go back here. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to give you a navigation that what all you can see on my screen. Like when you start using the Jira tool, you will be having a screen something like this. So what all option we do have. So we'll go first with the navigations from, you can say, the top menu bar. We'll go with the navigation at the left sidebar. And then further, we'll start with creation of a project, creation of an issue, and what are the status of that. That is what is the main agenda, what I am going to cover in today's class. Okay, so let's proceed on this part. Okay, so over here, as you can see, I have already my Jira instance ready with me, and we'll start with the menu bar first. From top left, what you can see it is what we call it as Atlassian Product Navigator. As I said, Atlassian has so many other products as well. Jira is one of them. Apart from Jira, we have Confluence, there is Jira Service Management, there is there is a Trello. So if you want to navigate from one product of Atlassian to other product, from here you can navigate. Okay. Now, whichever product you are using, by default, you can see this is I'm on Jira. I can see this. Now, if, okay, this is the Jira software. Okay, let me navigate on it. Now, this is over here. I am at the Jira project. Okay. Now, let's say I want to see another product, what we have the Confluence. I click on it and I will be navigated on the Confluence. So mostly if we talk about look and feel wise, all the Atlassian products are quite similar. That's why it has given that whichever product you are using, you will be able to see that product name over here, right? Now, next to it, let me mute everyone. Okay, so now next, what you can see here, there is something called your work. So your work is what? Whatever project you are in. Let me navigate to another project. Okay, so whatever like you have done the activity, if any task is assigned to you, you can see it over here. There is something called recent. So what all I have done activity over here. So there are certain tickets has been created. I have viewed certain Jira board, right? So everything what you can see over here. Next to that, there's something called boards. So what all boards I have recently visited, I can see those over here. Okay. Next to this, what you can see is the queues that is for the service management. You can ignore it for now. Okay. Now, next over here, if I go, there's something called projects. So whatever projects I do have access, everything I will be able to see here. So you can see start means some project which I may be visiting very often. I can start it over here. Then we have something called recent. The projects what I have recently visited, that will be listed here. And then if I want to see all my projects, I will click on view all as here, and you can see all the projects are listed on this page. Okay. Now, next to it, there is something called filter. We'll talk about that little later. But in general, what is a filter? Let's say I have thousands of tickets in my Jira board, right? And out of those thousands of tickets, I want to see some specific tickets. some specific data. For that, what we use, the filter. Again, I'm sure everyone is aware about this term. Like, let's say any e-commerce application, let's say Flipkart or Amazon you are using. There are millions of products available. What I want to buy, let's say a shoe. What size? For me, size 10 is fitted. So I want to say, I want to buy C shoes with size 10, men, and also what? Maybe some specific color, let's say black, and I want a leather shoe. So I just keep on checking that specific filters, and then I will be able to see only that data. Same way, if you want to view any specific conditional data, we use for that filters. Then one of the very important aspect of the Jira tool is what? Dashboard. So dashboard is when you work as a Scrum Master, project manager, so you have to create certain reports. So dashboard is something that you have already some data on your Jira, on your project, and then from here, you will be able to create certain reports. There are various gadgets available in the Jira tool, and accordingly, whatever you want, you can create dashboard. There is a people part which you can skip it for now because it is used by whom? The Jira admin. There is a apps. So for example, let's say in mobile phone, Android, iOS, whatever you're using, we have Play Store. In iOS, we have App Store, right? So if you want to install any application, you will be going there, search it and install it. Same way, Jira has so many features, but still there are so many other products as well. If you want to integrate those with the Jira, so Jira has something called its own marketplace. You can search it, whatever you like, you can integrate it. Mind it, it's a chargeable. Normally for 1 month, first month, it's free. And after that, it will start charging you, right? Then there's something you can see here as create button. This is something which we will be exploring much more. I will come back on this part little later. We have a search window, we have notification, help, and setting option here. So it's like if you're Jira admin, you will be able to see this section. Otherwise, only personal setting. And over here, left side, what you can see, just like normal profile setting. You want to change your profile picture, some basic details, you can do it from here. So that's all about the top menu bar navigation. And left side, you can see here what we call it as sidebar. There are various options available. For example, you can see there is a planning, there is development, and there are so many other third-party apps I have installed. You can see it over here also. Okay, now let's go deep dive on that. So whatever you can see here on the top left, this is what is your project name. So right now I have created a project with name of Facebook. That's why it's coming here. Anyway, just in next 5 minutes, I will be starting the creation part also. Like I will create a project and from there we'll proceed further. Moving next from here. So we have, if I go in the planning part, so we have a roadmap, we have backlog, we have active sprint and a roadmap, and again, the report. So roadmap is something what we use it for the planning perspective. You can plan a roadmap on the basis of, you can do the release planning on the epic level, you can do the planning. But I would say this is a feature which is very, very less used in the Jira because it doesn't have the optimum ability to do the planning. That's why I said in the starting also, we do not manage the project in the Jira, we do the issue tracking. Now, the backlog. Backlog is what? The normal definition of the backlog, the product backlog, all the issues, all the requirements which are supposed to work in a project, right? What all, everything will be where in the product backlog. So whatever requirement you create, by default, everything will be listed where in the product backlog. And then from the product backlog, we pick certain stories, certain tasks, and we start the sprint and we proceed further on that. Then we have something called active sprint. So what is the active sprint? So you already have, let's say you start a project of e-commerce, you have thousands of requirements. When we talk about Scrum framework, so we do not go for big bang approach, right? What we do, we take certain requirement out of 1,000, let's say around 20 requirements, and we are planning it in next week, next 2 week, like what we use a term called sprint. So next week in a one sprint, what we have to cover. So we create a sprint. Anyway, I'm going to show you also how to create a sprint and how it works, right? So active sprint is what you will be able to see all the tickets, whatever is there in your Jira, right? There is something called reports. So what all reports you can see, point to note, there are two sections here. One is what report, where I'm in right now. And the second one is what dashboard, what I just shown 2 minutes back. Report is something, these all are automated report. By default in Jira, you will find this, it's already available, it's created. Okay, for example, burn down chart, burn up chart, sprint report, velocity chart, cumulative flow diagram and all. These are already existing report and it's a real time. You just select the sprint and accordingly, you will be able to see the report of that sprint, right? So report section is all about if you have to see any specific report, which is already available in Jira. Next on over here, what we have the issues. So what is the issue here? Issue is the all your requirement repository. Any requirement of the project, whatever is the status, it's completed, it's in progress, it's not completed, whatever is the status, everything will be listed here. So either it's a user story, it's a task, it's a subtask, it's a epic, whatever it is, everything will be listed here in the issue page. Now, there is just some difference in the issue page and the backlog. Backlog is what? All the requirements which are not yet completed. Let's say you started your project and you have thousands requirement. Out of 1,000, 200 are completed. So what will happen? You go to the backlog, you will not find those 200 which are completed and sprint is closed. But yes, whatever the remainings are there, it will be listed here. But if we talk about the issue page, in spite of the status, everything will be available here on this issue page. And that's what is the main difference. Okay. So yes, this is the issue. There is something called component. Component we just use to on high level to just segregate. Let's say if we talk about a UI, let's say talk about an e-commerce portal, right? So in e-commerce, you'll have certain functionality for normal users, end users like me, you, right? We search, we filter the product, means we are the buyer. There are sellers, there are logistic partners, there are admin people as well. So you can create certain component and you can assign or add those requirements in that component. It is just to segregate the requirement, we use it, right? So this is all navigation part, what I wanted to show. And next on what we are going to do, we are going to start working on creating a project and then after we'll proceed from there. Okay. So, okay, task, Amir Khan says task. Yes, everything we're going to create here right now, right away itself. Okay. So let's proceed here. Okay, now what we are going to do, we are going to start playing with the application, and that say first activity, what I'm going to do is creation of a project. Okay, so how to create a project in a Jira? So over here on the top, you can see in the menu bar, there is an option of project, two ways to start creating a project. One is what? You go over here and you will be able to see the create project. Option number one. Option number two, you go to view all project, and here also you will find a button called create project. Anyway, whatever way you are comfortable, you can do it. Normally, when I have to do, I use the same action. I will click on create project and I will be on this page. Now, when I'm over here, so there are, you say here project templates. There are various templates available. Software development, service management, work management, product management, marketing, HR. So Jira is not like something used only in software industry for product management and all. It is used for so many fields. For now, the training perspective, I'm just going to create a project for software development. And for that sake, you can see here, there is Kanban, there is Scrum, there's a bug tracking. So any software development template, any one of it you want, you can choose it. For now, I'm going to use the Scrum project template. I will click on use template. And when I create this, I have two options to select. One is what team managed, and the second one is what over here as company managed. So team managed is what? It's like quite less configuration option. But as we are going to use this for training perspective, we want to have the higher option. And for that perspective, I will be using here, select a company managed project. And over here, again, there are options like add project details. So the project I want to create, but how, what should be the name of it, right? I need to give it a name. So let me give a name to it. And name today, we are on January 11, Jan 11, Jira, right? This is what is the name I have given. Whatever name I give, accordingly, it's already had suggested some project key. Again, it's customizable. If I want, I can do that. Change it also. But for me, it's okay. So point to note when I'm creating a project, what I have selected, Scrum as project template. Company manage as the type over here. And now click on create project. All right, so now my project is created. You can see here now, whatever I have entered the name, Jan 11 Jira demo, my project name. It's a software development category. It's listed here. And you can see here J1JD. What is the J1JD? It's Jan 11 Jira demo. It's the key of the project. You remember I entered the name and it suggested me the key for it, right? So accordingly, it has suggested me the key. So by default, it has navigated me on the active sprint. As of now, there is no any sprint running. For that perspective, there is no data. Let me go back on the backlog. So as a very fresh project, just now I created, so there is no any detail. There is nothing right now over here, right? So now you have a project created already. So project, you can say that it's a kind of space you have created. And next one is what? You have to create issues. Issues means what? The what also we call it as a ticket, either it's a requirement, bug, or whatsoever, we have to create it here. Now, how to do that, we are going to see. So point to note, right now on the backlog, how many issues I have? 0. Now, I will be proceeding with creation of the issues, creation of the 0. Okay. So let's proceed further. Okay. So over here, you can see on the top, there's a create button, right? So anything I have to create any specific requirement perspective, always I will be going here on the top, and from here, I will be creating it. So how to do that? Click on create, and then you will see this window, right? So to this window, what we, just to confirm, able to see this create issue window, everyone, you can comment in the chat box. Yes, no, please confirm. Okay, I hope everyone is able to see this create issue window, right? Okay, great. One moment. Okay, thanks for confirmation. Okay, so let's proceed further from here. So now when I click on create, I'm able to see this window, to which we call it as classical create window. So you have options what you want to create. There's something called epic, there's something called task, there's something called story, and there is something to which we call it as bug, where you click to open create issue. So on the top, you can see here, there's a create button. So this button I clicked on, and then you will be getting this option. Okay, just follow my screen for now. Everything you will be able to learn it in a better way. So we have an option over here. It's like Epic, we have task, we have a story and all over here. So again, you can see on the top, there's a drop down called project. So in my Jira, I have more than 20 projects. All the project listed here. By default, whatever project I'm in, I clicked create from this project. That's why I am able to see over here the project name. What I want to create, Epic Task Storybook. Now, there are certain differences, what exactly these are. In next 2 minutes, I'm just gonna give you a high level overview so that you are able to understand it. Let's start something from the bottom. Bug. Bug is what? If something not working as expected. For example, e-commerce portal, like user applies a filter that price range 500 to 1000 and user is able to see the product of 1500. Is it expected? The answer is no. So QA team will report a bug, hey, not getting proper search result. And then they will write the description, applied filter from 500 to 1000, unable to see product of 1500. That is what is the bug, something not working as expected. The next one is what is the story. Normally what we call it as a user story. In Agile, when we have to write the requirement, we write in a story format like as a user, I want to search a product so that I can view the product detail I can purchase. That is what is the core requirement, you can say. Task, normally what we call it as, task is something, let's say a technical task. So it's not specific to a specific requirement, but maybe creation of a database, creation of a table, right? Some kind of technical activities, whatever is required. For that, we create a task. And then we have Epic. What is the Epic? Let's say filter part in e-commerce. So we have filter based on price, based on color, based on maybe gender, size, customer review. So many are there, right? But altogether, it's clubbed in a specific requirement is what? Filter. So we can create a Epic with the name of filter and all the related stories will be listed down it. And that's what we use it in an Epic. So normal definition, all similar stories, similar functionality story grouped together, we call it as an Epic. Now, for sake of simplicity, as we have no data, definitely we need to view data so that we can perform certain operations, right? For that, let me click on create. Again, I'm able to see here and I'm just going to create a story. There are so many fields over here. As you can see, I'm not going in detail everywhere because it will take too much time. And the idea is just to give you a familiarity with this tool. So now over here, you can see the summary section, which is mandatory. What is summary? Summary is like what this requirement is all about. For example, let's say registration. Registration, and normally there is a description section. So here we'll be writing as a user, I want to register so that I can use the platform. Right? Then we'll have the description, we have the precondition, and what all things will be there, we will be having here. Okay. Again, you can see there is reporter, means whoever is creating it. There is issue linking option is there. A fixed version is like when you are going to release this, that is also there. Then after we have assignee who's going to work on it. Let's say Alice is the guy who's going to work. It's a high priority, medium priority, what all are there. If I know the sprint, I can add from here. For now, let's say I do not know. I will simply click on create. And my first brand new requirement, you can see here in the backlog is created. If I want to view it, I will simply click it. And then right side, right panel, it has opened. If I want to see the entire detail, I will click over here and then J1, JD1. What is the J1, JD1? It's the unique ID, issue ID, what we also call it, of that specific requirement over here. Okay, so you can see all the details are listed here. Now, just to have play around with the creation of the sprint and all, let's create some more requirement. So again, I have to create more requirement. Let's say here for login, I will be able to do it here. So for example, again, we have option if I want to do attach certain things here, certain documents and all, I can attach it. Whatever I want, I can add it from here, right? So all those options, whatever I want, let's say I have one image, this one I want to add, I can add. Okay, again, adding description and all, I will do, and I will click on create. So this way, what we do, we create issues, right? If I again click over here, if you see the window name, what is that? Create issue. Normally, issue means what we do, we relate it with something not working as expected. That's what we call it as a issue, right? But if we talk about Jira, it's not about not working as expected. As Jira, when it was started, this tool was mostly used for what? The bugs tracking and all that, right? For that way, they started using the word issue. Now, although it's used for functionalities, requirements, and all, but still, terminology wise, there is no change. Still, we call it as issue only, right? Now, if I have to create requirement, it's taking some time over here, right? So Jira has given a shortcut. What is the shortcut? Let's say I do not have the entire detail like description, the assignee and all. So what I want, I just have some information. Let's say summary, the name of it. I will go in the backlog. I will click here at the bottom, and let's say I can simply type here, enter, and it will be created. Now again, next one I want to create, click on search issue, and let's say over here it is search. Okay. Now, just I would recommend everyone, let's think for a e-commerce portal wise, right? So in an e-commerce portal, what all functionalities we can have, just list in the comment box, and then I will be adding, creating a requirement for that. Meanwhile, Sirisa has posted a question, who will create epic user story issues, sir? So who creates epic stories and all? It is done by whom? It is done by the product owner. Who create the bugs? It is done by the QA. Okay. So Kalyani says cart. Yes, definitely. We'll have here add product to cart. What all? Okay. We have order, return, refund. Okay. Let me add that. So it's like purchase. Okay, then we have sale products. Okay, yes, payment as well, right? So, so for add payment, first will be, then definitely we'll have option to make payment. Okay, let me add here. What all? Okay, debit, credit card, net banking, yes, and we have return as well. So return, right? We have a refund as well, right? So let me add that also. A refund, okay. Seller dashboard, yes, there will be for seller perspective, there is a dashboard for that. Let me add it. Okay, next we have exchange. Yeah, so I have think I have return, refund. Yes, exchange also makes sense. A return refund, I think it's gonna same only. It's a duplicate entry. Yep, we have the filters. We have yes review. So customer review. So again, if you see for the review perspective, there will be option to view review. There will be option to add review as well, right? So it's like, let's say this one is the view review, and then I'm gonna add here as add review, right? So further increment, decrement. Okay, I think you are saying about the uh, updating the card. cart quantity, right? Further, if we talk about, yes, wish list, good. Add to wish list. Yes, address. Preeti says address. Yes, definitely. We need to have provision to add address. Okay. Then we have okay. Delivery, yes. Cart, I think I have added. Can we create sub backlog within the master backlog? We just gonna talk about that, Mohan. Increment, okay, wallet, and not all seller dashboards, report, card details. Okay, card details I have added here. Okay, so I have around 20. Let me add three more. Okay, so what else? Let's say, let me add here as price filter. Okay, yes, delete option. So it's like delete from cart. Let me add one more requirement. Okay, apply coupon. Okay, fine. Interesting. I got so many features here. Good. Thanks for participation. Apply coupon. Okay, so let's close it for the user story perspective here. I have already 20 story, but if you notice here, we have story, we have task, bug, and all. Okay. So just quickly, I'm going to create certain more, two, three more bugs, two, three tasks, and two, three epics so that we can relate it. So if I want to create a bug over here, I will just click here, select the icon, and let's say not able to log in. Okay. Next, let's say here, not getting. Okay, let's say here price filter not showing correct data, right? Same way, if I have to create a task, payment gateway not working. Okay, let me, yeah, let me, it's easy for me, copy paste. Somehow this is not working, copy here from directly. Okay, anyway, payment gateway. In short, not able to make payment. Okay, now let's say over here, next one is what I want to create some task. So what could be the task? Let's say create user registration table. Okay, so the basic difference, if you see the create user registration table, it as a user, I do not know what is the user registration table you are going to create it or not. But whatever functionality you can see here, this user story, it is from a user perspective, what user will be doing over here, right? Then we have option, remember, to create an epic also. So on epic, let me do create something here as user registration, user registration. Okay. So one epic I have created, and let me create one more as, let's say, filter. These two, and I will proceed further. Okay. Now, if I see my backlog item, we started with 0. I have 24 issues here in my backlog, right? So, and all issues, you can see that story, bug, task, everything is listed here. Left side, there's a panel, which is called Epic. You can see user registration, and here you can see filter, whatever I have created, it's showing here, it listed here, right? So this is how it looks like. Now, the next task for me is, okay, so first of all, who create the backlog item? So backlog item, if I talk about, it's created by whom? One moment. Okay, so who creates the backlog item? So backlog item is created by whom? If you see the story, task, and all. It's story is created by whom? The product owner. Bug who creates the, it is created by whom? The QA. Okay. So that is what it happens. Now, what we're gonna do here is we have, let's say, thousands of requirements in my product backlog. And in Scrum, if we talk about, we proceed the working on the requirement. How? By creating the sprint, right? Sprint by sprint, we proceed further. So for that perspective, how we're going to do here, click on, over here, you can see the right top, create sprint. If I click on create sprint, I will be able to see the option J1JD sprint one. What it is, it's my sprint one is created. And now, again, it's not about the Jira, it's more about the Scrum Master or the Agile process, but let me explain it. You are going to work in a sprint perspective, right? Sprint one, whatever tasks are required, you will be adding here in this sprint. How to add that? User registration, yes. Login, yes. Logout also I want. And let's say search. These are functionalities or expectation in the sprint one, right? So it will be added like this. And once it's added in the sprint one, and this is what is my active sprint space. So any sprint which is already started, I will be able to see here. For now, in the active sprint, how many data is there? 0. Because I have created a sprint, but I have not started a sprint. Now what I'm going to do, I am going to start a sprint. Click on start sprint. Normally, Scrum suggests you can have something between 1 week to 4 weeks. Let's say I want 2 weeks. I will select here, click on start, and my sprint is started now. Let me refresh the page. Okay, so if you notice, the start button has been disappeared from here. Okay, and now if I go on the active sprint, so all those 5 issues, 5 stories, what I have selected, it's been here. Now let's say what happens, your sprint has started. One developer is going to work on this login feature. So what first they will be doing? They will be assigning it to themselves. Now let's say Peter is the guy who is going to work on it. So Peter will assign it and he started working on it. So he will drag and drop it in the in progress. Ali started on this, he will make it in progress. Search, let's say someone else, like I am the one who is going to work on this feature. So what I'll be doing here, I will be assigning it to myself. Okay. And then I will change the status in progress and it will also show up over here. So this is how work is done. So now who will assign to the task? Normally in Scrum, what we say, it's a self-organizing team. So developer among themselves, they will be assigning it. Who will change the status? The one who is working on it. Because I know what is the status of it. So it's a developer, a QA responsibility. Whoever is working on that, they will be changing the status of it. Okay. Now let's say registration is done. It will move here. Let me go back and see how my backlog looks like. So one sprint is already started. I'm the Scrum Master. There's a product owner. So they will be planning for the next sprint also. So what will be done here? Another sprint will be created. And over here, let's say in the next sprint, we are targeting all the functionalities related to the purchase and all. So purchase, add payment, yep, make payment. If there is anything, okay, let's say here, I think we have apply coupon also. Let me take it. Okay. Yep, cart quantity, cart also let me add here. Okay, so again, it's who decide what need to be worked on? It's the product owner. So product owner decide, and then accordingly it will be created here. Sorry. Okay. Now let's say this make payment, I want to add in the sprint one. So if you see here, it's showing me a error warning message. Sprint scope will be affected by this action. In fact, if this make payment, I want to add in sprint 2, I'm able to do so. But if I want to add in the sprint 1, it's showing me a warning. The reason for this warning is in Scrum, what we say, once you start a sprint, you should not add more requirement in that, right? And for that perspective, we see this option. Now, anyway, I have added it. Now, let's say what happens. I am going in the active sprint. Let's say make payment. This add product to cart is also done. Logout is also done. And we are on the last day of the sprint. So what will happen? Whatever happens, either you have completed all the tasks, any task or not any task, doesn't matter. A sprint is a time box activity. Let's say you are on the last day. So what you will be doing, you will be marking this sprint as a complete. So who will come doing this activity? The Scrum Master. When I'm marking it as a complete, it asks me, hey, what you want to do? You want to, in this sprint, there were 6 tasks. Out of 6, 4 we are done. 2 are still not done. What you want to do with these 2? You want to move it in the next sprint or you want to move it in the backlog? I'm saying, hey, I will move it to the backlog, and then product owner will set the priority, what further need to be done. So if I go back in my active sprint now, if you see, again, it's blank. Reason is I had a sprint, I started a sprint, and then I completed the sprint. And next, if I go here in the backlog, in sprint 2, these 4 are there, and search and make payment. If you notice, these were part of my sprint 1, which were not completed, and now it has come to the sprint 2. Also, if you notice, the all those tasks which we are done, it's not showing over here in the backlog. And that's what I said initial of the class. That's what is the difference in the backlog and the issue page in the Jira. Backlog is all the task which is not yet done, right? If it is done, it will disappear. But if I go to my issue page, let me have a look. You can see all that. You see these 3 and this one is done. These 4, you will not able to find where on the backlog page. Okay, so this is how it works, right? Now what happens, let's say again we are going to start this sprint. Okay, so once you start the sprint, what will happen? Let's say add payment. So this is a requirement, this is a story. Okay, so what will happen in order to complete this requirement, there is some effort is required. For example, apply coupon. So first of all, I want to apply a coupon. So I need to see on the user interface some option where I can enter a coupon code, click on apply, and how much discount. If it's valid, I will be able to see that. If it's not a valid coupon, then it will show error message. Please enter a valid coupon, something like that. So if you think for it, the implementation, there is something required from UI, that how it will look like. Some error message means validation, which we call it as backend work. And there is something QA related work, like what QA will do, it will test it by various test coupon. So for that, we need to create subtask of it. So one is what? UI work. Second one is what? Let's say backend work. Okay, and then let's say QA. Right? So now UI work, who is going to do? The person, let's say Alice is the UI developer, he is going to do. Backend developer, let's say I'm the backend developer, I'm going to do. And QA, let's say in my case, Peter is the QA. So they will be individually working on these requirements. If I go back on my active sprint, now if you see, this is my story. It has 3 subtasks and everyone is working on it, right? So that's how this work allocation is also done on a specific requirement perspective. Okay. Now it's a open forum. Like I have, let me recap what all we have discussed till now. So we started with discussion of first is what exactly the Jira tool is, right? We have some discussion on that part. Then we see started with creation of the project. Once you created the project, what you did, the next work over here is after creation of work, the next setup was to have the creation of project you created. Once your project was created, then after the next activity, what you did was creation of the issues, various type of issues we have seen, right? Then after the next step, what we did was uh, creation of the backlog, how it looks like that we have seen. Then creation of the sprint, how you can create a sprint and all we have seen over here, right? And also before this, we gone through the various navigation options, what all we do have that we have seen here. So it's an open forum. Now it's open for questions. If you have any question, we can discuss that. You can post your questions in the chat box and we'll take it from here. Okay, one moment. Let me check this. Okay, so let me open the window here. Okay, okay. Also to inform you, like this session, if we talk about, it was just for an introductory session on the Jira tool. What I do, I take the complete Jira session, which is a paid session, which happens on the weekend. So this weekend also, I have a planned session on the Jira, in which it's a Saturday, Sunday, 2 full-day program. And it's a complete, Jira is a tool, it's a complete hands-on training. What happens over there, like right now, what happens that I was showing you everything. And over there, it's a interactive, like I show you something, like you will be starting with creation of your own Jira instance. You will be creating your instance. And then after next, what you'll be doing there is you will be also performing the same thing with me. Like you will create a project, you will create issue, creation of the backlog, JQL, reports, everything we do together in the class itself. And that's how that works. Okay. So just let me, just give me a moment. Just a moment. I'm just going to take all questions here now. Okay, so let me meanwhile take certain questions. Okay, and for the training program, what I spoke about, it's like going to happen on this weekend. It will be morning 9 to 4 p.m. on Saturday, and same thing, it will happen on the Sunday also. So, and it's a complete hands-on training as it's going to be a live same way on the Zoom. So you'll be getting a recording of it and it's a paid program. So what I also do offer from my side, as once you attend this training program, next on, whenever I have the session, let's say on the Jira for the next month, if you want to attend, you can attend that also free of cost, no charge for that. Okay. Meanwhile, let me take some questions. Again, I will give you some more detail about the training program. Meanwhile, let me take certain questions over here. Okay, 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 okay. Okay. So, Prabhajot Kaur has mentioned if one sprint does not complete in the estimated time, then we move one to task in the next sprint. So when either you complete all the tasks partially or whatever, sprint is a time box. Time completed, what will happen? You will close the sprint. Ideally, what we do, we move all the tasks in the backlog. And it's the product owner who decide what has to happen on that task. Product owner say, hey, it's quite critical. It has to be taken in the next sprint. Then a sprint planning meeting will happen and accordingly it will be planned. Okay, so next question, what I can see, is sprint only for developer or it includes for testing? So sprint is not about development or it's testing, about a functionality. And when you talk about a functionality, it requires everything, including development, including testing, and all the aspect. So if you mention, see here, I have added the task, for example, login. So login is not only about development. We can say login is working only when testing is also done. So all the aspect is included. And if you notice, last I created a subtask of it, UI, backend, QA, everything. Who can generate ticket? It's basically who can create ticket. I just said, if it's a requirement, product owner. If it's a bug, the QA. If it's a task or subtask, the developers. Same steps for all project templates. Creation of issue, yes, everything is the same only. Product owner can be client. What is the difference between product owner and the project manager? So again, it's a quite long answer, but let me give you a short answer of it. If you talk about any product-based company like Amazon, Flipkart, and all, what will happen? It's a product-based company. You will have the product owner. In a service-based company like TCS, Accenture, Capgemini, and all, you will have the project manager role. Okay, so those two, like product owner, if we talk about, it's all about the person who think about the product, how I can enhance the the usability of the product. On that line, a product owner thinks. Project manager, it's all about the logistic part of the everything as well. It is start from the costing, cost management, right? The budgeting and all, resource allocation, everything is taken care. Who will take responsibility if sprint is not completed? So Warren asked who take responsibility. So who has committed that sprint will be completed? The developers, right? They said that this is what, as a PO, I said, hey, I want 15 features. Developer saying, hey, not 15, only 10 is possible. So in that case, developers has committed. So definitely developers will be having the responsibility of it. Okay. So next question over here is, PO is senior 10 to 15 of experienced BA who is proxy responsible for a user, manager who is accountable for. Okay, fine. Okay, okay. Okay, Monica asked cost. Okay, let me explain you. Okay. Okay, so going back to the training part, let me show you also what all content I'm gonna cover so that you are very much comfortable with that. At least you should be aware of. So one moment. Okay, so let me share my screen again. I hope my screen is visible, this PPT. Okay, so we start with introduction of Jira, the way we started. Then we start working on creation of uh, bugs and all, like creation of the project, as you have seen. And this training, it's a two-way. It's not like one-way delivery. It's like you will be performing the same thing in the class. It's like I explain, I show you 5 minutes, and then you will performing the same thing right away in the class itself. Creating a sprint, starting a sprint, managing a sprint, creation of a issue, attaching a file, commenting on a issue. There are a lot more things on the specific issue itself. So this part is all about the issues. Okay. Next one is what you can say a search part, searching an issue, basic search, advanced search. Then there is a JQL, Jira Query Language. There is managing Jira board. So creating a Scrum board, creating a Kanban board. In a board, if you have to plug in multiple projects data, how you can do that, right? So that's what comes in the managing this Jira board. Dashboard and reporting, how to create reports, dashboard, and all we see in this part. And then I'll give you a walkthrough of the conference, because this is something which is also much more used in the industry, and that's why I do provide training on that aspect also, right? And for this entire training, if I talk about, as I said, it's a 2-day complete hands-on training, and it's going to happen on 14th and 15th January. Okay. And it will be on Zoom platform itself. It's a live training, and fee for this training is 10,000 rupees. Okay. So over here, 10,000 is the fee. Let me post in the chat box also. Okay. And how to register is, as this training is going to be on this weekend. For now, for registration perspective, you can just make a payment of 2,000 rupees. How to make payment? You can do Phone Pay or Google Pay. Okay. Or Paytm, whatever you want on this number. I'm just typing here on my number. Okay. So you can make, as of now, right now, you can just register by paying amount 2000 of it. Okay. So let me just disable chat and then I will be taking some more question and will proceed further. Okay. So now proceeding further over here. Okay, so yes, so Ashish, I have already shown this anyway. After this training, you will be getting this content, also the syllabus, whatever I have shown, I will be sharing with all of you. Okay, I got experience in banking sector, 3 years, 7 months, but I moved to software. So I'm just going to unmute you also if you want to speak, because some questions I'm not able to get it completely. So you want to move or you have already moved, Monica, you have mentioned here. You can speak yourself now. Okay. Is there any option to add an item in the issues drop down who have access to do that? Yes, Dandini, there is option. There is something called JIRA admin. So if, in fact, let me show it also. Okay. Here, if you go, so in this project, if I click on create, I have only these four options. Okay. And I have some other project, what I have created. Let me see. Yep. In this one. So I have already added so many other options. Like you can see task, bug, spike, R&D, so many things are there. So it's all, I just said, Jira is very much customizable tool and you can customize it as per your need. Okay. If anyone have any question, you can unmute yourself and speak up. Yep, Monica, you want to speak something? You have a question?
Sir. Hi, sir.
Yeah. Hi, Monica, go on.
Sir, I got 2 years experience in banking sector,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm thinking to move software.
Okay.
That's why I'm asking you. After 3 years, I am working MTech, my studying, my qualification, all things.
Okay.
But
So
I moved to Jira tool or
when you did your BTech graduation?
BTech 2015. No,
15,
not 2000. Sorry, 2013.
13. Okay. So what I would suggest you, like it's for everyone. This question, I would say it's a quite open question. It applies on everyone. If you are someone who want to start your career in IT industry, right? So for that, I have a separate program, which is for the Scrum Master. So that is a role. Again, it's a Scrum Master, your job role. And why I do provide training on this Jira tool is because this is mostly used by the Scrum Master as well. Okay.
Okay.
So Scrum Master role you can plan for. This is a job role which is not a technical role. I will teach the concept of the Scrum and with the knowledge of Jira. These two things are required. With that, definitely you can target for that job role. So Scrum course curriculum, it is of 1 month. I have a batch in the morning. It's like Jira I cover on the weekends, like Saturday, Sunday, 2 day will complete it. Scrum is much more on the theory. It's about some concept that you have to develop. For that perspective, I take every day 1 hour class. It goes for a month, 20 working days.
Okay.
Okay. So you can plan for that. And I have so many success story of my
It's an online course only.
it's all online. We do provide all the trainings in the online only. Okay. So if I just share my screen one more time, okay, you can see here, like again, these are some success story of my students who have
Okay.
already undergone through this training and got the result.
Okay.
Okay, so the training, the Scrum training and the Jira in all collaboration, it works. It's like a job-oriented training. So you go with this training and then you will be able to get the job. Mostly, I would say you once you complete the training within 2 months, you will be able to get.
Okay.
Okay, so that's how this training is designed.
Okay.
Okay, so again, a
Thank
lot
you, sir.
many success story I have, like person who has done the BCom, MCom. I'm not the BTech or not the BCA, totally from non-technical background. One of my students, she has done the MCOM in 2007. She
Yeah.
worked 7 years in ICICI Bank. Then after she took gap because of some family reason, and she had to start the career. And she started as a Scrum Master.
Okay.
Same way, like I have people who work in the
I
sales.
studied MTech also, but one subject will be backlog will be. That's
Okay, so
why.
in that case, I just said it's better to hide the MTech for now, go with the BTech, which shows some experience, and
Yes.
definitely to make it.
Thank you. Thank you so
Anyone
much.
else? Welcome. Anyone else having any question you want to speak up? Any question? Okay, you can raise your hand and speak up. Yep, Mohan, go ahead. You have a question?
Hi. This is Mohan from Hyderabad. So, well, this question is not regards to this application. This is regards to the role.
Okay.
See, well, we have a certain certifications available in the market. One was a PMP, and other one was a Scrum Master.
Mm-hmm.
So, how do you rate them based on the current scenario?
Okay.
This Scrum see, again, this PMP also involves in this Agile and Scrum are the part of the PMP. Again, some roles were definitely asking for a defined depth in analysis for the Scrum Master.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where the confusion is. Each and every organization have a different set of roles there. But on an overall outlook, the role we apply in an organization remains same, more or less. Or the applications, I mean, the methodologies over there on each and every project keep on differing. So what do you say there?
Okay. So, Scrum Master is a job role. Project Manager is a job role. Both are two different job roles. Okay. So project manager, this job role you will not getting in, I would say, let's say a product-based company, where it will be service-based company, and everywhere you will find the project manager role in the service-based company. Scrum Master job role, and let's say you are working as someone is working as a project manager. So definitely today's time, most of the projects, I'm saying most means maybe around 90% or more than that, are used or worked out on the Scrum framework, right? So when you talk about the PMP is quite vast content. It's about the costing, about the estimation, about the variance, scheduling. So many things are there. So on that aspect, like you can say, when you go for the PMP, you will also learn the concept of the Scrum. Okay. And it's take much more time to, again, what is your
Yeah.
background, Mohan, if you
No,
can?
I'm currently working as a project manager, but again, the most of the methodologies we consider were like an Agile and the Scrum.
Okay.
So I was into IT. I mean, it was not. I mean, like every people, like it was not exactly I moved into IT. It was like a data analyst and then technical manager, and then
Mhm.
the role started developing. And the first phase, everyone doesn't get into project manager until unless someone were passed out from IIT or IIM. They crack in the first round. But obviously, I mean, the roles will start evaluating from the
Right.
ground level.
Yes.
So currently, I'm in the project manager role. But again, there were various tools available in the market. We were currently using the Float tool and few other tools which were available in the local. I mean, each and every organization have a defined set of tools there because of the various security reasons.
Mhm.
We were just using Float and one more other custom tool which was already built for our employees. Custom
Okay.
will
So there are
use.
so many tools available, but again, just
Yeah.
to coming back to your previous question. So again, if you are someone who is interested in the Scrum Agile, you are enthusiast on that part, definitely you need to have that knowledge certification. You can plan for that.
Yeah.
And let's say you are not willing to work as a Scrum Master whatsoever, you are working, but still you are working in the Scrum environment, right? So
Yeah.
mostly either it's a QA lead, tech lead, or senior person. You must
Mm.
be aware about how the Scrum work. For that
Yeah.
perspective, also people do this certification and training. And definitely for the project manager, so maybe you are managing multiple projects and there are Scrum teams. So you need to aware about how these things works, although it's a part of PMP, but it's still much for certification perspective. When a organization is working on the Scrum, they will be looking for CSM or the PSM certification as well, right?
Yeah.
So on
Yeah.
that part, knowledge of Scrum adds a lot of value and it's needed.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Okay, thanks, Mohan. Okay, next I can see a hand raised by Tianis. I hope I'm pronouncing the name correctly. Go on, you can unmute yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Deepak. It's Yanis.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, I am working as a business analyst in a company, it's a product safety company. So currently, we are not using any methodology. So what we are using the old methodology, so, like a waterfall, and we are using. Now, so I feel that there is no much career opportunity. So that's why I am trying to move out of this one. So for that, I am just going for this one, like a Scrum Master or Product Owner, or it could be for a PMP. So which one I should go for? Because when I say since I have a 10 years of experience, so whether should I go for the product owner or a PMP, should I go or so this kind of questions I was going to, so that time I sent my class and research.
Okay.
So still I'm in the dilemma. So which one could be the perfect landing for me? Whether it could be a product owner or it could be a PMP.
Okay.
So like I was
So,
wondering.
Thianis, in that case, first of all, it's totally on choice which direction you have interest and you want to pursue a career. But the normal
Yeah.
track is, let's say, you're working as a BA. So, any track you want to go for, definitely you need to have a good Scrum knowledge. Okay.
Yes.
So from that perspective, definitely I would recommend you to first to go for the Scrum course. Okay. Build your skill set on around that. Scrum. You can plan for Scrum Master, or you have already worked as a BA. So BA with some Scrum experience, you can plan for the product owner role as well. I would say going for PMP or that, it will be take time for that. And as considering your experience, it's better to go for Scrum or the PO perspective. My understanding, that will be a good move to proceed further.
Okay. I am also thinking the same. So first of all, I will come to get the creation certificate, then I'll get the PO. Then I will just gather these two because I also given one or two interviews, but I just know that I have not touched anything on the practical knowledge. I just went there with the theory knowledge, so I can able to crack it too. So would that taking that course will be helpful because what they're asking is more related to that practical only. So I searched it in the courses also, but sometimes I'm not getting the answers in the internet as well.
Okay.
So this course will help me to get the full knowledge for the industry.
Definitely, it will help you because the course what I do provide, the training methodology what I do have, it's like much more practical oriented, activity based training what I do cover over here. So on that note,
Okay.
definitely it's going to be helpful for you. Again, you can connect me one to one. I can guide you also what is the structure and all, and definitely you will be able to get it. Because
Sure, sure,
whoever
sure. I'll
comes,
guide you.
yes, whoever comes to me, the main agenda is what to get the job, and that is what is my specialty, to help people to get the job, start getting the job. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone else having any question? Instance.
No, that's it.
Okay. All right. So anyone else having any question? I'm over here for next more 5 minutes to answer your question. And also, as I said, this JIRA batch is scheduled this weekend, Saturday, Sunday. If you are looking to enhance your knowledge, skill set on that part, I would recommend to go for it. So I'd say complete practical training will be covering all the scenarios of it, and you will be able to get a good grasp on that.